How to create a fully interactive and styled button using HTML and CSS. To create your button element, you simply want to type out button, and this one is going to need a closing tag like I have right here. Within this button element, you want to go ahead and add the text that you want to have. So for this one, we're going to add to cart. Then click save. It's just a standard button with no styling and nothing fancy. Now we want to actually start adding our styles by targeting our button element up here in our style element. I'm going to style this all on the same page, but I always recommend linking to a separate style sheet. So first we're going to change our font size to be a little bit bigger to 1.5 rem. After that, we want to change our padding to 20 pixels to add some space inside of our element, and now we'll preview. So now you guys can see that we have more space inside of our element around our text, and our text is a good font size. Now we want to change our background color to be red like so. Preview this again. Now you guys can see. Now we want to change our font color to white so you guys can see this clearly and we have proper contrast. Our text is white. Next, we want to change our width to 30% so we have a fully responsive element. Now we want to get rid of this ugly black border because we're looking like we're in the 1990s right now. So to do that, type border and then none. And then we don't want our button to look like a square. We want it to actually look like a button. So we're going to target the border radius and change that to 2 rem. Our button actually looks like a button, but you guys can see it's static, it doesn't do anything, and it's not interactive at all. So now we're actually going to make this button interactive. So we're going to target our button again, and now we want to type colon and then hover, and this is specifically going to target our button element when we hover over it with our cursor. When you guys create your website, you want to adhere to the color scheme that you come up with and design, but for today's video, I'm going to be dramatically changing the colors so you can clearly see the difference. Change the cursor when we hover to a pointer, and keep in mind the pointer is going to be the standard in web development. Now you guys can see our background color and cursor type is changing only when we hover over our element. Now we want to change the button when it's active. So again, do the same thing that you did, type button, colon, and then active. So this is going to occur when you actually click on the element. Change the background color to an orange color. Then we want to change the cursor to grab. We have all our transitions properly working, and now we're going to move on to some advanced techniques where we actually add animations to our button. So first we want to go back up to specifically our button, change the transition to all, and we want it to last for 300 milliseconds, and we want it to ease in and out. The reason we're putting this specifically on our button style here is because that's going to ensure that it smoothly transitions in and out each time we hover and leave the element or click on our element. Next, we want to go back to our hover property and actually change the transform. And for this one, we're going to target the scale of it. And to get a better idea of this, if you scale it to 1, that's going to be 100%. The size of it's not changing at all because we have it set to 1. Change this to 1.1 and you guys will be able to see the difference now. And now our button will actually enlarge when you hover over it, like so. The last CSS style that you must add is the transform origin property, because you want to know exactly where your element is going to transform from. And we're going to change this to center because we want our animation to happen from the center of the element going outwards. A lot of beginners forget to add this particular style, and then on certain browsers it will actually transform differently. If you want this button to link to another page on your website or maybe an external web page, what you want to do is add an anchor element and actually take your button and put it inside of your anchor element like I am doing here. Then you want to go back to the opening tag of your anchor element and add href and then add the link to either the other web page on your website or whatever external page you want to link to. For this video, I'm going to link to our own website for Kalman Web Design by simply adding it inside the quotation marks of our href attribute on our anchor element here. click save, and now you guys can see that this will take you to whatever page on your website or whatever external website. Now we have our completely interactive button. As you guys can see here, when we hover, it has our little animation making it a little bit larger, and when we click on it, it also changes here. If you guys have any questions, reach out to us through this video or go to our website at kalmanwebdesign.com. Thanks so much for watching.